"Shut up, you're not going to Italy," my dad barked, after stealing my $10,000 vacation fund. "Then pack your bags for court," I snapped, while freezing their accounts and filing for theft. "I can't wait for the trip next week," I said, already picturing the cobblestone streets of Rome. My dad didn't even glance up from his phone. "We already went to the Maldives last month," he replied casually. I froze, unsure if I'd heard him correctly. Then he finally looked up, smirking slightly. "Yeah, it was kind of a last-minute getaway. Just me and your mom. She figured you wouldn't really care." Across the room, my mom kicked off her sandals. Her skin was sun-kissed, her hair several shades lighter, definitely not the result of a spring spent in Ohio. "You used my vacation fund?" I asked, more baffled than angry. My dad chuckled like I'd just told a joke. "Well, you weren't using it, were you?" I stood motionless in the doorway, still holding the envelope I had just picked up from the travel agency. Inside were the final details of my dream trip to Italy. I'd been planning it for over a year, saving every spare dollar, skipping takeout, selling old electronics, doing whatever I had to do. 2 weeks away, and it was finally within reach. And now it was gone. But this time I didn't cry. I didn't raise my voice. Not after years of being treated like the family afterthought. "All right," I said evenly, sliding the envelope back into my bag. "Just remember, court records are public now." That made my dad go stiff. His phone slipped from his fingers and hit the floor with a dull thud. My mom turned around slowly, her face drained of color. "What are you talking about?" she asked. I smiled, not the fake one I wore at family dinners, but something colder, real. I mean, it wouldn't look great if certain people saw those account transfers, especially since you moved money from an account I legally co-own. Remember? My name's the primary one on that account. My dad opened his mouth, then shut it again, speechless. "Relax," I added, walking to the kitchen and pulling a water bottle from the fridge like I owned the place. Technically, I kind of did. "I haven't reported anything yet." The silence that followed was heavy. My mom looked like she wanted to scream, but didn't. She knew the power dynamic had shifted. As I headed toward the stairs, I paused and glanced back one last time. "I hope the Maldives were worth it," I said, voice calm but sharp as glass. "Because what's coming? You'll want a lawyer, soon." See, for the longest time, I let myself believe that maybe, just maybe, my family cared. Not loved me, not respected me. Just cared. Enough to treat me like part of them. Like a person. I was wrong. Taking my vacation money wasn't just betrayal, it was war. Let me take you back to where it all began. 1 year ago, when I moved back home with one goal. To save for the trip of a lifetime. Italy. I had it all mapped out. Work hard, save every penny, and finally do something for myself. I told my parents about the trip early on. My dad barely nodded like I'd mentioned the weather. My mom gave me that sugary smile she wears when she wants me to stay agreeable and invisible. I was earning well, pulling grueling shifts at a downtown law firm, barely sleeping, barely living. No new clothes, no weekend getaways, no takeout. I canceled subscriptions, even stopped streaming music. Every cent went straight into a travel fund. I didn't just budget. I sacrificed. When my mom offered to open the account at her bank, saying, "It'll get better interest there, sweetie. Let me take care of it," I agreed. That was my mistake. While I was clocking 70-hour weeks and living like a monk, they were out in the Maldives sipping mocktails on a yacht, my yacht, paid for with my money. I found out by accident. My sister, sharp as ever but careless on social media, posted pictures on her private story, thinking I wouldn't see them. But I did. They weren't hiding a thing. Crystal clear beach photos, jet skis, beach bonfires, champagne glasses. Non-alcoholic or not, they were still celebrating, and even a shot of my dad casually tipping a bartender with a $250 bill. My $250. I took screenshots. I documented everything. But the real gut punch wasn't the money. It was the shamelessness, the entitlement. Like I should be grateful they spent what I earned. It was for the family, my mom told me when I confronted her. You've always been the responsible one. We didn't think you'd mind. You're not really the spontaneous type. I laughed, loud, bitter. No, you mean I'm not stupid. She flinched like I'd hit her. Later that night, my dad cornered me in the garage, his arms crossed, jaw clenched tight. You don't get how hard it is being a parent, he said, voice low and defensive. Everything we do is for the good of the family. No, I snapped. Everything you do is for yourselves. You stole from me. We didn't steal, he barked. We borrowed. You weren't even using it. Then why didn't you tell me? I stepped forward, fire rising in my chest. Because we knew how you'd react, he shouted. You always act like the victim, like we're trying to hurt you. But this wasn't about dollars and cents. It was about what I'd always been to them. Safe, quiet, convenient. The one who cleaned up their messes. The one they never saw as a real person with limits. Not the loved one, just the reliable one. I was the one who always bailed them out. When my sister blew her paycheck on impulse buys and couldn't cover rent, I stepped in. When my dad's credit got denied for that new truck he just had to have, I helped cover the down payment. When my mom needed emergency dental work that cost nearly $7,000, I paid it quietly, no questions asked. And what did I get in return? A joke. At Thanksgiving, she actually had the nerve to laugh about it in front of everyone. You're our little financial angel, she giggled. The whole room laughed like it was some charming family anecdote. They never remembered what I gave, only what I didn't. It hit me then. They never had any intention of returning that money. They didn't care about my plans, my sacrifices, or even me. I wasn't a person to them. I was a dependable ATM with a soft voice and no spine, but that version of me was gone. When I told them I was pursuing legal action, something shifted. My dad went still. My mom's face turned the color of printer paper. They understood in that moment. This wasn't just wrong, it was criminal. But what really floored me? 2 days later, my mom walked into my room, holding a pie. No apology. No repayment. Just a damn pie. She placed it gently on my desk, like it was some sacred peace offering. Your favorite? She said with a weak smile. I stared at her like she was made of glass, fragile, hollow. You think a cherry pie cancels out grand theft? I asked, nudging it back across the desk. Her smile broke. Don't be so dramatic. We're family. I stood, walked to my filing cabinet, and pulled out a folder labeled Evidence. Screenshots, bank statements, photos. I dropped it on the table with a heavy thud. Start treating me like a stranger, I said coldly. Because I'm about to treat you like one. Then I walked out. Right past her stunned expression, past my dad, who was clearly eavesdropping from the staircase, past the ghost of who I used to be, the quiet, forgiving version of me that let everything slide. I was supposed to be on a flight to Kyoto next week. Instead, I was preparing to bring their carefully built illusion crashing down. It began with a knock, not loud, not rushed. Just 4 calm, even taps at the front door. The kind of knock that makes your stomach twist before your brain catches up. I was in the kitchen, sipping black coffee and finalizing the date I'd move out. I peeked through the blinds. Man in a black suit, folder in hand, blank expression, not a salesman, a process server. I opened the door. Are you John Garcia? Yes. You've been served. He handed me the envelope and walked off like he was delivering a pizza. Inside, civil court documents. Plaintiff. Me. Defendants. My parents. Allegations. Unauthorized withdrawal of over $9,700, misuse of a joint bank account, violation of financial rights, When I turned, my mom was behind me, still in her robe, face pale, eyes wide. "What is that?" she asked, voice shaky. I dropped the envelope on the hallway table. "Exactly what it looks like." Her hands trembled. "You're taking us to court?" "I warned you," I said. "I gave you time. I gave you chances." "Where are your parents?" she hissed, voice rising. "You're thieves," I snapped. "Real parents don't drain their child's savings to sip Bahama mocktails and get foot rubs under cabanas." Just then, my dad walked in, still adjusting his tie. "What's going on?" he asked. "Check the table," I said, sipping my coffee. He picked up the papers, scanned the front page, and exploded. "Have you lost your mind? You're suing us? Do you even know how this looks?" "Yeah," I said. "It looks like justice." "You're crazy," he shouted. "You're going to humiliate your own family over one little trip?" "That little trip was my everything," I snapped. "It's what I worked toward all year. It wasn't yours to touch." "We gave you life," he bellowed. "Everything you have is because of us. You think this house just pays for itself? And you think that gives you the right to rob me?" I stepped closer, voice steady. "You stole from an account I opened. You used my social security number. I could have you arrested." My mom gasped. "You wouldn't—" "Try me." Silence. You could feel the shift in the room, the moment they realized I wasn't bluffing. Then came the theatrics. My mom dropped onto the couch like she'd been shot. "I can't believe you're doing this," she whimpered. "After everything we've done for you." "Save the act," I said, ice in my voice. "You didn't do anything for me. You used me." My dad's face turned red, his fists clenched. "You want to play rough?" he growled. "Fine." I wasn't here to argue, but I wasn't going to let it go either. "This won't end the way you think," I told him. "Family courts don't look kindly on entitled kids suing their parents." I raised an eyebrow and corrected him. "This isn't family court. It's civil, and I have evidence. Bank statements, screenshots, and paperwork with only my name on it." His jaw tensed. "I've got emails," I added, "like the one where Mom said, 'Don't worry, he's too soft to speak up.'" Mom turned sharply. "You read our emails?" "I didn't hack anything," I said. "You used my old laptop, the one that syncs all your accounts, remember?" She fell silent. I turned toward the stairs. "You have 30 days to respond. Then we proceed." "Dan, wait," she called. "Can we please talk about this?" "No more talking," I said. "No more guilt. No more games." She cried out. "We're family. Families don't do this." "Exactly," I replied, pausing on the top step. "But you did. So what does that make you?" That night, they held a family meeting downstairs. I didn't go, but I listened through the vents. They said I'd changed, blamed the internet, called me too sensitive. My dad said he'd get our cousin the lawyer to scare me. It didn't matter. I'd already filed the case through a legal aid group that supports victims of financial abuse. The next day, I booked a hotel. Before I left, I placed an envelope on the kitchen counter. Inside was a note. Amount taken, $10,000. Cost of losing me, priceless. I walked out. No one stopped me. No hugs, no tears. Just the sound of my suitcase rolling away and me becoming a stranger. The hotel was simple but peaceful. Fresh sheets, quiet, my own bathroom. That first night, without my dad's pressure or my mom's guilt, I slept 10 full hours. No dreams, just peace. By morning, my phone lit up. 4 missed calls, 2 voicemails, 7 texts, all from Mom. Each began with, "You should be ashamed," and ended with, "You'll regret this." I didn't reply. Day 2, she sent people after me. Friends, relatives, even a cousin I hadn't seen in years. All said the same thing. "But they're your family." I took screenshots. I only responded to Aunt Karen, who messaged, "I know they were wrong, but isn't this too much?" I wrote back, They stole from me, lied, manipulated, and shrugged it off. This isn't too much. It's a crime, and I'm done being quiet. Day 3, their lawyer called. They wanted to settle. For half. Half? I laughed. Is this a joke? It's a goodwill offer, he said. My goodwill was not calling the cops, I snapped. 3 days, full amount, or I go public. It wasn't a bluff. I'd already spoken to a journalist who loved family scandals and financial drama. Day 4, Mom showed up at the hotel. I'm not here to fight, she said through the door. Just to talk. She looked different. No makeup, no fake smile, just tired. We didn't think you'd go this far. I warned you. This will tear the family apart. Your actions already did. She sat down. Your father. He's angry, but scared too. He should be. We'll return the money, all of it. But you have to cancel the case. And forgive us. I didn't reply. You've made mistakes too, she added. Maybe this was a misunderstanding. I laughed. This wasn't a misunderstanding, it was theft. You planned it, you chose it, now you want forgiveness? I stood. I want the full amount, plus damages, and then I want you out of my life. She looked away. You'd cut us off over a few thousand? No, I said. I'm doing it for me. She left. I called my lawyer. Full payment, plus written apology, or court. Day 5, the money arrived, $10,000 plus $500. The note read, private settlement, no admission of guilt. I laughed, still no apology, but I didn't care anymore. First thing I did, booked a flight to Kyoto, departure May 17th, the day I'd begin living. On the plane, I whispered to myself, you did it. I wasn't talking about the trip, I meant surviving them. For 3 weeks, I wandered Italy. I watched sunsets at the Vatican, tasted perfect coffee, danced at street concerts. I stood in front of a Caravaggio painting and cried, and I didn't think about my parents. Well, except once. Day 5 in Florence, I checked my email. Subject, can we talk? From Dad, I didn't open it. A few days later, we miss you. From Mom, with a photo of the 3 of them on the porch. No smiles, just emptiness. I posted a photo of myself instead. Rooftop, Florence skyline, pomegranate juice in hand. Caption, unbothered, unavailable, unapologetic. Comments poured in. You look free. What's your secret? I replied to one, peace is expensive, but worth every penny. When I got back, I moved into a small apartment by the river. No roommates, no parents, just quiet. I painted the walls midnight blue. I lit candles for no reason. Every Sunday, I made dinner for one like it was a ritual. No guilt notes, no old smells, just peace. I started drawing again for the first time since I was 15. I drew faces, versions of myself I'd never dared to imagine before. The best part? I kept silent. No calls, no texts. Was I cold? Maybe. But I wasn't cruel. I was finally being fair. Then, 2 months after the settlement, I got a text. Thank you. I'm Noah, your cousin. I cut ties with them too. You showed us it was okay. Then another message. They always said you were strange. I think you just woke up first. And one more, from Linda, my sister's friend. Your mom called you unstable, but I remember when she borrowed your money and remodeled the kitchen instead of paying for Dad's surgery. You weren't unstable. You were done. I saved every message in a folder called Proof of Freedom. Then one rainy night in October, a voicemail from Mom. We're selling the house. It's too big, too quiet. Your sister barely calls. Your father hardly speaks. I just wanted to say, you won. I stared at my phone. Winning would mean they changed. But surviving? That meant I did. I blocked her number. Not from hate, not from rage, from peace. That night I sat by the window, city lights glowing in the rain, jazz floating through the air. I raised a glass of pomegranate juice and whispered to the boy I used to be. They didn't break you. You became me. And this is just the beginning.